Yes, greeting our view wherever you are. It's been a while, and right now we are back, fully back with new energy, new force, and this is Le Grand TV. Today in the studio, we want to talk, we want to explore, we want to see some of the challenges, some of the issues that our youth are facing as they try to maneuver through the so-called our global. In the studio, we have a guest. We have a good friend of mine since time memorial called Mark. And on my side, we also have my good friend, call him Leonard. Today, we want to explore, want to see the challenges, opportunities, and also innovative solutions that shape the future of young people across the globe. From the educational sector, we have the mental issues, we have technology, and also we have the entrepreneurship. Don't forget, we are also going to check more about the farming. In a nutshell, we are going to see, or we are going to try to handle each and every sector so that we can get to know what is next for our youth, what is next for the future of our youth, and also the future of generation to come. So I welcome you, my dear guest. Feel free, breathe in, breathe out. It's going to be a discussion, turn and take. So I hope it's going to be lively, because our views, the way I promised them, today we have something very, very impactful in their life. I want to begin with my friend Leonard. Leonard, can you tell our views, who is Leonard?
Okay, thank you. My name is Mangana Leonard Opolo, a student at Mount Kenya University, studying Bachelor in Pharmacy, and currently I am in my 4th year. Looking forward to start my attachment in the coming week. And yes, it's been nice being here. And as the youths, it's true we have a lot of challenges. And to our expectation, most of the leaders still do not meet what we expect.
Good.
Yes.
We are going to dig deep into that. My good friend Gingo. Who is Gingo?
Gingo is a young man. Name as suggests is Mark Gingo, a son from Migori, Sunai sub-county, senior comrade Mount Kenya University, also optimistic upcoming leader in the near future. I'm looking forward for the discussion, which is candid and valid. Thank you.
Thank you, my guest. And I'll begin with Mark Gingo. What do you understand by the term youth and development?
When we talk about youth and development, this is all about inclusivity. And we talk about nowadays, we don't want to rely on ideologies. We really want to rely on reality and practicality. So there is a space in the ecosystem that is the society. Then the role of the youth in development. What are they going to contribute towards development? Are they understanding what development is and what is their role and their function in this development agenda? So that's what we want to bring on light so that they can understand me as a youth, what is my role in development and how can I achieve that development.
Just before you proceed, development can mean numerous. Like for instance, let me say where we come from, that is Migori County. We can see that new buildings, new structures are being built there. Can that one be development?
When we talk about development, we don't really mean about new structures being built, but we talk about sustainability. Is it that what we are doing, is it sustainable or is it not sustainable? We want things which can be a game changer for our entire life. That can bring something from what was not existing to what is existing, that is going to help a common mwananchi have something to make the ends meet. So we don't really mean about now someone building a house or another thing, but something which is sustainable. Is it in terms of education? Are we developing? Is it in terms of infrastructure? Are we developing? Is it in terms of empowerment? Are we developing? Are we developing? Are we moving from one space to another? That's what we call development, according to my view. Yes.
My friend Leonard Mangana, you are aware that since year in, year out, there have been challenges facing youth empowerment. Are you convinced that there's youth empowerment in our current, let me say, in our current regime?
Okay, to me, I think there is no much youth empowerment. What is happening in the society is using the youths by leaders to get to where they want. So that is not empowering youth. Empowering the youth means you come up with a system or you create a system that includes the youth to help them develop on the ideologies that they have. For example, we've seen during, let me say during campaigns, somebody coming and then he gives you 1,000 shillings to say, but there is nothing this money is going to help you as much. Apart from maybe using a fare going home and then buying some credit, that person is not developing you. That is someone who is using you. So if you want to help somebody develop, you create an ecosystem where they, with their minds, with the points they have, the creativity they gain from schools, these people can exist. These people can, let me say, can
Coexist.
they can maneuver with the own skills they have so that they self-develop. Yeah, if, for example, I'm done with my education, if the ecosystem, if the society is good, I will not wait to be employed. I will come out from school with the skills I have, I go out there, then I employ or I deploy the skills I have in the environment so that I make a living.
So let me cut you short. Are you trying to say that the problem is within the youth themselves, or you have given an example where you have graduated and you are waiting maybe to be employed instead of coming up with another skill or idea to generate something meaningful? Do you want to tell us that the problem is the youth?
The problem is not the youth. The problem is, as I said earlier, is the leaders we have. Because as a youth, or remember as a person, you may not do much. But when a space is created, when a system is created that is working, by who creates the system for the youth, or for the country, or for the development? It is the leaders we choose. So when these people come up with a system that when we are done with the school, we can fit. When we are done with the schools, we get in and find something that is happening. So we can develop ourselves. But if this space are squeezed, for example, if you check at the village schools to say, the teachers who taught our parents, they taught our grandfathers, they taught us, they are still there to teach our children. Why must there not be a space for these people to go and earn their pensions, to create a space for the new generation that is coming?
I can see, Gingo, you have a burning point.
Yeah, there's a point that I was just trying to add, or add on top of what Leonard is trying to bring on board, that you have asked that is our youth the source of the problem in relation to the high rate of unemployment or lack of being involved. I can say that there is a culture which is created by our leaders.
Yeah.
So when the culture is created, it becomes a norm. And the issue is, we can bring it in a very layman's language. There is no empowerment back at home. Our parents were also culprits of the same ideologies that were presented to them by the so-called long-go leaders, whereby the community or the society is not having empowerment or engagement. At the end of the day, my dad, my mom, my grandmother, my grandfather will align or make a line to be given that 1,000 shillings. You understand what I mean? At the end of the day, there is no education maybe that is given a lot of priority. There is not that much of industrialization which is given a lot of priority. At the end of the day, our youths also are lacking employment. What are they going to do? They are still going to line around a politician to give them some handout so that they can meet the needs of the day of the day. That is what brings us about now. Youths are now vulnerable. They are now disparate. If at all someone can give me something to eat, then the better, because that's what I want.
Let me ask you, Mark.
Yeah.
Why must we keep on blaming leaders? Let me say the politicians.
Yeah.
Instead, from what Gingo have said, once you have graduated,
Yeah.
it's very, very impactful for you to have option B. Because when you have graduated, then you went back home with the skill, with the knowledge from the bookish knowledge, the book work part of it, but you don't have the physical skill part of what you have done in your school life. Here is where it comes, where we blame the politicians. For how long are we going to blame the politicians?
Okay, maybe if I start to answer that question before he answers. The reason is this. We understand that there are money set aside as youth funds. These are money that are supposed to be used by the youths to develop or to do something. We have money set aside for the women, for the children,
For the health,
yes,
for the older men.
even the health education. So how do these leaders use this money? A good example, if I may say, you find the money allocated for the ladies, for example. The only thing women reps does with this money is to buy pads. How many people cannot afford to buy pads now? For example, if we say. So you find that the leaders takes this money in the name we are going to develop the youth in the counties, in the constituencies, in a given region, but this money does not get to the youth.
To the youth.
If I am done with my studies today, then I go home, find a properly set system for the youth development fund. I go there. If it is borrowing, I borrow a certain amount of money.
Sure.
I do what I do with it, then I pay it back. Instead of letting everybody run to the banks, run to the loan apps, which charge us a higher rate of money. There is a difference in rate of payment of a money given by the government to a money that is given by an individual. Banks are started by people. These people want money. The only bank that is run by the government of Kenya is KCB, and nobody can want to go to KCB to borrow money. So these are the banks that borrow us, that gives us loans, are individual or a group of
growing to a certain level that meet certain qualities and interests of students from different parts of the country. Or do we need another university?
I am wondering why you are asking that question to me, because as well, I must agree with him at least 90%. Reason being that, one, how many students are in Rongo right now? Is Rongo overwhelming with students? Is it overcrowded with students? So for what reason are we going to have another university in the same region? Do we have any reason to construct another university? Well, how many population are in Migori, if we may start with that? Is it demanding another university? Yet Rongo is there. How many students do we have in Rongo?
But you need development. I think
development, right?
University is one of the development.
It is one of the developments. We are going to have that university having about 2,000 learners. So are we going to fund them and again use a lot of resources just to cater for these 2,000 learners? Is that development? What we need is one, Asuna West and Rongo is just something like 100 shillings. You understand what I mean? If we could have improvised, develop and improve Rongo University, it is also an asset. Then when there is a demand for another university, then we can now talk about now, right? Then now we can talk about now, let's have another what? University, right? But for now, if Rongo is still in the state where it is right now, there is no good conviction that we need another university. Not unless it was political, whereby they said we want to construct a university as a leeway for winning the masses to follow a certain category of a group of people. But if it is a genuine concern that we need a university, then we must sit down and see what state is Rongo in right now. Do we need to build a university or we need to improve this one that we have already existence?
So, still in the issue of education, And this is youth and development. It's what we are talking about. We want to see what next for the youth, the current youth, next generation, how will it be? We saw how the government are trying to bring some changes, where right now we see the polytechnics are being given higher priority to bring in more students, and also the government is funding. Also, we also saw the government is trying to divert the sponsorship or support from private institution. So this is my question on the same matter. In our polytechnics and in our campuses, do you prefer going to polytechnic or to the university? Simple question. Do you prefer going to polytechnic or university?
Me personally, or
You as a person.
okay, me as a person, it will depend. One, I'm in a university right now, right? Reason being, I had the qualification of being in what? University, right? And the career that I wanted to do was also in line with whatever thing I was going to get in university. Maybe I wanted to be maybe a doctor. I can't be a doctor in the polytechnic. You understand? So it depends with your preference. What do you prefer you as an individual? Do you prefer being a vet officer, or do you prefer being a what? A clinical medicine officer. So to me, I will prefer any, depending on the IQ of the learner. If a learner scored D, we cannot say that that's a waste. There is somewhere they can get into, where the TVET. You understand? If someone scored a B, and maybe he or she is not willing to join campus, then they can join where their interest is. So it depends with what interest do you have in relation to what you're going to study.
So Leonard, the talk in town where companies, or let me say where you are going to do your attachment, they say that wanapenda kuchukua those who are from TVET. Those from TVET have higher percentage of being absorbed than those who are from universities.
Okay, I can't despise people from TVETs, just like my good friend said, that it depends with the grade somebody scored in high school. So to me, as a person, I would champion, or I would accept the evaluation or the development of TVET. Why? In TVET and colleges is a kind of match of direct involvement with what the learner is doing. And then when you compare that to the campus education, I think campus education is kind of prioritizing or focusing people much into professionalism, professional jobs compared to what we get in the TVET. So this is where you find that somebody from the campus, when they go to the market, they look at the value of the money they used to study. So as a business, you would also want to recover what you spent. You know, going to school is one way of investing. So you cannot invest millions of money and then you would go outside there to harvest 2 shillings or some thousands of shillings. For example, let me say, I've studied here since 2019. The amount of money I've spent in my course to date is 1.5 million. So you can't expect me to finish my studies and then niende huko nje nianze kulipa 10,000. How long will it take me to?
Then how sure are you that you are going to get
the job?
Then how sure?
That is where my question is.
Nikimaliza naenda kupata kazi nje. No. So if you compare this to someone going to the TVET, these people maybe spend a lower range amount of money in TVET. So you find that huyu mtu amemaliza TVET and then there is something in the society they can do that is also paying averagely well. You get that? So these people, it is very easier for them to be absorbed. If I compare my course, for example, the people who do bachelors in pharmacy and the people who do a diploma part of pharmacy. So unapata watu wa diploma, their fee is a bit little lower. So that's why most of the hospitals and the government is focusing to take watu wenye wamefanya diploma compared to watu wenye wamefanya degree. So that comes in the range of money spent, which is a fact. You can't run away from that. So when the government develops or invests in TVETs, inamaanisha the government is going to spend less. The learners are going to spend less in the TVETs. So when they get to the market, they easily get absorbed in the environment. The market is not good, so they can easily survive. But rather than focusing with the university, which kinda prioritize the what we got existing, the white collar job. So everybody who goes to the university would also want to live according to the university higher education they attend. So mtu akitoka university, hata kama ni mwalimu, ametumia hiyo pesa yake yote. I hear they use around 600 or 160, something like that. So when you get to the market and comparing also, putting into consideration that the factor of age, ukifika 60 years unafaa kuwa umeretire, si ndio? So unapata mtu anamaliza campus at the age of 20, not 20, 24, 25, 26 up to 30. So unapiga hesabu uko na, kama ni kufanya kazi uko na 30 years if the government is supposed to employ you. Then unamaliza shule, unakaa nyumbani another 10 years ukitafuta kazi ukiajiriwa. So meaning uko na only 20 years to work. So for you to recover the money you spent in education, for you to recover the money so that you also help your parents, so that you also develop yourself, inakuwa ngumu. So that is why inapata the TVET guys are easily absorbed than the people from the university. So yes, I would support the development of the TVETs.
Mark,
Yeah.
we are graduating day in, day out.
Yeah.
But where we are going after graduation? Where do we go after graduation? We are graduating day in, day out. The graduates are very many outside there.
Yes.
Some of them are even going back to the village with your certificate, with your degree.
Yeah.
You are going there and starting to ride motorcycle with someone who did not even manage to be in class 2.
Yeah.
What is the future of our graduates after graduating? What next?
Thank you very
Or
much.
where is the problem?
Thank you very much for that. This is a question that I've been waiting for so long. It is something which has been burning me all this through. Let me give an example with teachers. Teaching as a profession, because there's a debate that either teaching is a profession or something else, right? But to me, let me just talk about teaching as a what?
As a profession.
Let me not dwell too much on the second option, but let me go to primary option. I know a number of teachers right now. I know a number of teachers, even by names, I can mention them, whereby a teacher graduated something like 10, 14 years ago. These teachers are still in the private sector. I mean in the private institutions like private schools. They are being paid some peanuts, whereby this teacher is having a family to take care of. This teacher is having a child or a learner who is in school, maybe in a secondary school. They have to pay what? School fee. The teacher is not employed. At the end of the day, this teacher is given something like 6,000 or 7,000. You are staying in a rental house. You have to do what? To pay rent. So you find that this teacher is living in burden and debts. The simplest issue is when you don't want to lie about so many things. I have graduated. Then the first thing that they force you is to have a TSC what? Number.
TSC number.
You understand that? To me, to my understanding, I believe that once I've been given a TSC number, it's like I'm in the payroll. Because what is the essence of me having that TSC number? You understand?
Yeah.
If at all they still don't want to employ me, then they should only accept me with my graduation what? Certificate. But the essence whereby now you're being told that for you to teach in a school, you must get a TSC number. A TSC number is just like a roll call, whereby the TSC is using to do what? To monitor their teachers who are in the payroll. You understand that? So the big question comes where I'm going back home, I'm not employed, I want to stay for the next 15 years. I finished my school when I was 30, plus 15, that is 45. Then there is a norm that after 45, TSC cannot absorb you. You understand that? So even right now, I have a lot of teachers back at home who never went for employment by the TSC. They graduated, they are teachers, but they are just at home. The issue is one, the government should have a good control of recruiting teachers into colleges and the monitoring something concerning what? Employment. Whereby there's an issue affecting us more is on age, retirement. We have a lot of teachers there who are past retirement age, but they are still within the system. We talk about promotion and so on, right? So let's harmonize everything. Let government have a good monitor of how many are supposed to retire, how many teachers graduated between this year and this year, and how do we go about it. Corruption also creeps in, whereby because I'm a son of so and so, I can easily get access and get employed. Whereas a very peasant daughter of a farmer who just graduated from a university, scored a very good distinction or maybe a first class honors, cannot get employed because here ni mtoto wa nani Kenya. You understand what I mean? So let's focus more on matters concerning how we're going to have a control and watch over everything. Because not only in teaching, all sectors, there's a lot of corruption. Whereby someone is at home, he did mass media and communication, right? Someone is at home, he did pharmacy. Someone is at home, he did clinical medicine. But all of us were at home. That's why I talked about our governance, our system of education is having some hiccups. If we can adjust it, then we can know the number to take to university. Right. We can have a control over that. For this period of time, we can have a break so that we can sort those who are unemployed. You understand what I mean? So that the next time when we are picking people, we know that by the end of this year, we will be having a gap of employment. So they need to do that. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Leonard, as we wrap up and as you make conclusion on these matters of youth and development, specifically today we have tried to check the sector of education because we have a good number of students, a good number of youths, a good number of graduates outside there sluggishing into poverty because of lack of employment. Can you give them your last conclusion, your last remark as we wind up our today's show?
Okay, if I finish, one, I would urge anybody who has graduated or who is done with the schooling and it's outside there that education is not meant for employment. Education is meant to make a person get to understand the environment and then you find a possible means to survive in the environment. You must be a thinker when you are a graduate. So this comes in, the problem is that we have in our country, for example, to the countries that are industrialized, for example, people finish their education and then at least they have somewhere to go to. But when you come to our countries like ours, the reason why we still blame the leaders is, juzi tulikuwa tunaona when the Pope died, for example, and then there was a gap, and then some Gen Z started trending that Baba for Pope. So you find that a leader, a national leader, who is elected by the people to go to the, like, aende huko kwa parliament, waongee kuhusu shida ya Wakenya. Unapata kiongozi ameenda bungeni, the only thing they talk about, ati watu wanadharau baba, ati watu wanasema baba for Pope. How is that a national issue? How is that affecting the life of the Kenyans? Badala wakae pale bungeni, waongee kuhusu how do we make our country unindustrialized? How do we develop industries? How do we come up with the opportunities that will help our people? Wanaenda bungeni kuongea things that will not help.
Yes, my good friend Leonard Mangana, we are now winding up Can you give your last conclusion on this matter of youth and development, especially today we are focused on education?
Yeah, okay. In conclusion, I would say as youths, let us not view education as a source of employment, where ukimaliza shule, you go outside there, unapata kazi unafanya. That is not the way to view education. Education should be a system that gives you opportunities. You overthink, you study the environment, you study the society, and then you take advantage of what is happening in the society. Then you dwell in that, and then you earn from it. But if we base our knowledge on a professional job, kind of what we got existing, that is what kills us. And that is what makes most of the youth finish studies, and then we remain jobless. Study the society, find what is useful for you, grab it, make what you can make, and then leave the space for the others.
Good. Mark,
Yes.
give us your last take.
My last take is just that for the purpose of the youths who are now aware, we need to go back to our villages, just on conjunction to what Mangana was saying about education is not for the purpose of employment. Let's go back to our villages, let's go back to our societies, and create awareness on how youths can involve themselves into different fields, into different environments, diverse, and then manipulate it to produce something which was not existing before. Because I have a good friend of mine known as Sheila or Wigolan. She's just a youth as we are.
The one who is going for women rep.
Women rep in Migori County. And she's a youth just as we are. She has come up with an idea whereby she's bringing on youths on board. Then she's starting things like poultry farming. This is going to engage the youths. She's starting things like agriculture. This is going to do what? To engage the youths. Industrialization, micro-industrialization taking place. So at the end of the day, we can learn that at least we can keep our chicken, we can keep livestock, we can farm, and we can make ends do what? Meet. So the thing that I can say in relation to youth empowerment is that, first of all, let's go and do sensitization and awareness on the resources that we have and how can we use these resources locally.
Thank you. Thank you, our dear viewer, wherever you are. There is one thing that I've learned and I've digested. There are boundless opportunities outside there. It's upon us to go for them. Thank you, and continue watching Legrand TV. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like, so that someone outside there can also get inspiration of the way you have gotten. I was your host, Mark Nyangweso. Until we meet next time. Thank you.